Alright guys, this is for food delivery, and what I'm going to do here is create one of these, but for a different phone. I have two phones. I have my main phone and a backup phone. So what this does for me is it keeps my phone where I can access it anytime I want without having to take it out of my pocket, which is safer for the phone because if I'm always moving and I'm always taking in and out of my pocket, eventually I'm going to drop it. And since I can do 30 to 40 miles an hour cruise speed, it's not good for the phone. It also, when I have this on my arm, and it does slip around unless you have a wrist guard, but once you have the wrist guard on that comes down to about here, that keeps this in place from swiveling around your arm like this. So I strap this down, I put the phone in here, I plug it in, and it also, this is a power bank, and this will last all day. I can drain this power bank, but I can leave my phone screen on for an 8 or 12 hour shift and not have to worry about charging my phone. It also allows me, the way this is set up, which makes it easier to see if it's set up at an angle like this, but it also lets me take pictures. Now there's another device that you can get really cheap on Amazon, and it's this guy right here, but it doesn't allow me to take pictures. I've tried it before. It doesn't come up high enough on one end. You can push it kind of up and down, and you might be able to make it work, but I haven't been able to. And also, it doesn't have, I need another attachment also for this power bank. So you might be able to use this plus a Velcro something attached to something, put a power bank here. But what we're going to do is we're going to stick with this because this has been working for me. So the materials we need are an armband, and normally this goes around your arm, and so the length of this is more set to a larger piece of your arm here. So we're putting it down here. I'm going to have some excess length on here. I'm going to tell you how to deal with that. And we also need just a clear basic phone case. And I have had no issues with this popping out of my phone popping out of the case. Sometimes I have seen it one of the corners kind of come off and I have to push it back in, but still I haven't had any actual problems with it falling out. So the newer it is, the stiffer it is, the better. And then we also need, I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Well, you do need a cable. The shortest one that you can find, I don't know how long this is. I think usually the ones that I find, the smallest ones are 3 feet. If you can find one that's smaller than that, that's perfect. And we're also going to have to cut this up a little bit. But this is a power bank, and I don't know how big it is, but really it's the size, the physical size that you need, because you want this to fit in here. And the other thing that this does, it creates a flat platform for this to stick onto. And then one end you're going to have this. It says it's waterproof. You can find some that are waterproof, but it had a plastic piece that went over it like this. And if you're using this in the rain, it might need that rubber piece covering this for it to be waterproof. And since you're riding like this, and this is going to be facing up, it's going to get rain in it. So far, I've used another one in the rain and it was fine, but something to look out for. And we're going to go over, so that's the items we need. We need armband, phone case, power bank, power cable, and we also need double-sided tape. Now, double-sided tape is not going to be enough to stick this and keep this on here, but see how I have double-sided tape on here? I also have some super glue And I don't think it was this kind of super glue that I used, but we're gonna try this kind. And also some scissors and a knife. And we also need a little bit of Velcro, extra Velcro, the comfy side of the Velcro. We're gonna stick it on here. And it looks like I used some double-sided tape on this, and it stuck well enough that I can, because this is going to be going on a smaller part of your arm, I was able to tighten it more and stick it up here. So we're going to go over the prices of these real quick. And I got most of this on Amazon. So the running armband, they're different kinds. This says $12.99 for this one. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was this one was $12.99. And the case, I got the cheapest one, $6.99. There shouldn't be any problems with the cheapest one that you can get. And then the power bank, let's see, that was $40 for this guy. But I also have this guy that I used to use, and this actually, as long as I didn't keep my screen on constantly, this lasted for an 8-hour shift. I mean, this will keep you going, and it's, I think it was like $12 or $13. I can't remember. You know what? I do have it on here. No, it was $15 on Amazon for this. So the glue, I can't remember how much it cost. Double-sided tape, can't remember how much it cost. You get a rough estimate of about how much this is going to cost you. Actually, I think the cable can cost, for some reason, cables can cost. Oh, the other thing is if you can find a quality cable, go with it, because this is going to be constantly bent in here. And it's going to, constantly pulling this in and out is going to affect how well it sticks in here, and there's a way to fix that when it gets too loose. And also the cable itself will start to wear down here and up here. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and go over this real quick, but there's two little, at the top of the USB port, there's two little prongs at the top, and you have to be careful when you do this, because you can ruin the device. But what happens is they get bent in too much, and then it gets loose, and it won't charge your phone. You stick this in here, it's too loose, it won't charge your phone. And this happened with this, but all I did was take a really small screwdriver and bend those down, those two prongs at the top of the USB port down, and now it works again. I thought I was going to have to buy a new one of these, but I don't. So next, what must we do next? So this is I'm using a OnePlus 6T. It doesn't really matter what kind of phone it is. I use Android. And you want to make sure this thing is set at the right angle. And when you take a picture with this, you are going to have to kind of push it up a little bit, but that's not a big deal. But you want to have enough surface area down here where it's stable, but far enough up here where you can take a clear shot, a picture of, when you're delivering food, you'll need to take a picture of the food at the door. And that can be kind of awkward. You know, the little bit of time that it takes to take your phone back out, take a picture, do all that. When you have it right here on your arm, it's so much easier. But the further you push this out, the less stable it is on here. So this one, I think it's fine right here, the lower half of it, but I do kind of wish it was tilted, the angle was tilted a little bit more to the left, just so I don't have to kind of crane my neck when I look at it. So we're going to try to get it right with this. So this guy here, yeah, but the more I tilt it, the more it's going to affect the camera there, because your arm's going to be like right here. And I will fast forward through the rest of this. certain parts of it. So I already made an attempt here. See, this is with the double-sided tape. It's just not sticky enough to stay on there. And I went and bought a new one and forgot that I had this. So we're going to take the new guy and we're going to put some super glue on it and some double-sided tape. Oh, also, if you wanted to try Velcro, you can do that. In fact, that's what, where's this guy here? That's what this guy was here for. But the Velcro, the more you take it on and off, Velcro has like 200 take on and offs that you can do before it gets just really worn out. So you can leave that on there, but it just feels loose. It doesn't feel secure. I guess I could still put this on here if I wanted some extra juice. But I remember having to tie strap or do something else to this to kind of keep it on there. So we're going to skip that part. And not all of these are created equal. And I will leave a link for this just because the size is just right. So we're going to put this and make sure this thing will fit. You're going to have to force this the first couple of times. And then we're going to have to cut one end of it. Oh, this has a flashlight on it. You can use that. I've never used that, but you can do that. I actually forgot it was there. I have needed a flashlight a couple of times and it was right there on my wrist. So it's kind of hard to get it in there. So this is going to go, you want this flashlight in to go down like this and face out. And you can shove it all the way in there, put this over there if you need it to, and then we're going to cut a piece here, just like it is in this. See this giant gaping hole? Let me take this out first. And then we're also going to, you don't want to overcharge it. I hear it's bad. Ooh. But we're going to cut a slit on the side here so when it's charging you can see the little lights and see how charged it is so you can unplug it when it's done. Oh, crap. I know I should have left that in there. Because I want to cut this whole thing if I try to cut it. Or, no, it's not going to work. Oh, this thing does come with a solar panel, but since it's going to be in here, you're never going to use it, which is fine. It's got plenty of juice. Cuts pretty easy. Oh, here we go. Oh, I put that in the wrong way. That's fine. I used to have a 3D printer, and I'm going to have to get one again because I might be able to set up something even better. But that's one of those things that I'm going to have to really know what I'm doing with the design software. So there's that hole, and then on this one, and it may be different for the one that you get. See here it says 25, 50, 75, and 100%. When I press this on the other side here, it'll tell me how charged it is. And we want to be able to see that throughout the day. Because this one does not hook up with Bluetooth or anything to tell you how charged it is. I don't think there is a power bank that does that. So. Oh, so the button is on this side. So we're going to carefully very carefully do it lightly and then just do it a couple of times. You should be able to do that without putting too much pressure on it. It cuts into the plastic of the bank. There we go. And I can see it well enough that now I know whether or not it's charged. Next, we're going to get our super glue, our double-sided tape, and this guy. You know what? Let's put the armband on. So I guess you could do this too. This is my very well used wrist protector. Yeah, see, it goes past the Velcro. We'll fix that later on. And I do kind of want it like at an angle like this, so with this guy, I'm going to turn the camera on. Let's see. And we'll be able to tell when it's low enough that it really affects the picture. You know, I might have it like this. Oh, I think that works. So I did have it up here as far as I could, but I could. See, my hand gets in the way. If I have it down here just a little bit. Get as low as I can before it really screws up the picture, and that should be good right there. Now how do we mark this with my hand in it? I have an idea. Use. Yeah, see, it's not going to stay there if I just let it sit. Oh, balancing, nope. Hmm. You also need a Sharpie. When I buy Velcro, I buy the really good stuff. So maybe you can find some better Velcro than I did, but this is what I'm going with, so. Video, photo. use the Sharpie again. I'm going to mark off where exactly I need this tape. I don't want to use too much tape. Okay. And I gotta remember to put this glue down. First I'm gonna measure it out, cut it up, and then put the glue down with the tape, because we don't wanna. Yeah, I think that's gonna be easier. So, like so. No, it's not. Should even know. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, it's got a little pin inside the cap. I haven't had this glue for too long, so it shouldn't be. Yeah, I just opened this package. They probably had like half or less filled it with glue, like they do deodorant. Small annoyances. Yep, just. This is supposed to be a thin layer. You want it to stick to both sides without a bunch of gunk in between. And knives usually work better for this, but we don't have to be exact here, so as long as the thing sticks. Ah, that's so annoying. Can I just edit this? Okay. Oh, and I probably shouldn't be doing this on a stove. I'm just doing it here because there's a good kitchen light right there. And this guy, just a little bit of tape, but we're probably going to need that extra stickiness right there at the edge. Make sure it's secure. So the big thing with this was the time and the energy it took to come up with this eventually. So that's one of the downsides of doing delivery, is that you're not using a company's years of experience on what tools to use. You're coming up with your own tools. So this is kind of a niche thing that I'm doing here. So we're also going to use some of this glue on this side. And you can see it, see all the little air bubbles? I'm going to squeeze those out and make sure it's is making good contact tape with the phone case. Like, I tried this with double-sided tape, and I lost my phone at some point. It just fell off. Nothing bad happened to the phone, but I guess I got lucky. So these videos are designed so that you don't have to go through all the crap that I did to try to get my EUC to work for me for money, because that's what I want to happen. This is also a part that I need to fast forward through because this is so tedious. This is horrible. Why? Should need pull tabs installed on this stuff. That would be so great. All right, so I'm gonna get this off first. Sometimes it takes a while to do that, and then I'm going to put glue here, stick it on. We're going to let it sit, and I will come back and we will test it thoroughly. I'll shake it around, toss it around on my wrist. We'll make sure that this thing works. I remember this in kindergarten. I don't know how universal it was, but there was a song called "A Little Dab of Glue Will Do," and I never got that song right. It was like a little dab of do a do. It never really clicked. I was a slow kid. A little dab of glue will do. You know, that's actually kind of cruel for a kindergartner. You give them something like that, you're just going to confuse them because all the words sound the same. Come on, glue. You can do this. Go. And we're going to press that in there. I think I used some pliers at one point to really squeeze it down because I wanted it to work, and I think I was having trouble with that. I tried hot glue and some other stuff, but I think I made it a little bit lower than I should have. Hopefully that will work though. So I guess I could take this out and try to look inside there, see how many air bubbles are in there. We're going to run our fingers over this like this. Make sure we've got good contact. All right, guys, I'm going to pause the video and come back. All right, I'm going to come back, and while we're letting this dry, we're going to measure out some Velcro here. I want this Velcro to come all the way up as far as it possibly can. And put it right here. So I'm not going to measure this because it's going to be different for each one that you buy, probably. And we are going to put, it looks like I put some double-sided tape and hopefully some glue on the one that I made already. So we're going to cover this in glue and then double-sided tape. I really feel like I want to just glue this on. Like the tape is, I mean, glue might have worked for this too, but I'm not, I think I tried just glue and it didn't work. So it was like with the double-sided tape and the glue this worked. But for this, I'm going to soak this in glue and hope it works. So on a hard surface, maybe it needs a thin layer of glue, but on a poor, you know, like a material like this, maybe it needs to soak in a little bit, or it will absorb some of it. Here again, on the stove where it shouldn't be. Whatevs. Squish this on here. So mixing different glues like this might be toxic if you mix the wrong ones. I think cleaners is the same thing. You're not supposed to mix cleaners. So so far I think I've done this and I haven't died yet, so there's that. But I am not a health professional. I actually don't know much of anything. So you do this at your own risk. Alright, and I actually going to let it sit there for a couple of minutes, so we're going to come back and let's see what the instructions say on the bottle here. Shake vigorously. I did not shake this vigorously. I did try to get it towards the end there. Hopefully that worked. The cap on product, shake product, then turn upside down and tap on hard surface to shake gel into bottle nozzle. Okay. That would have worked a lot better. Protect work area from spills. Apply small amount to one side of project. Only 1 dab per square inch recommended. Yeah, I didn't do that. Press surfaces together for about 10 to 45 seconds. I did that. Store in a cool, dry place. Store away from children and animals. It doesn't say to wait. So, okay, I guess we won't wait then. Oh, I want this to work. And you might say, well, it should because you've done it before, right? Well, it was a while back, I think more than a year ago that I did this. So I can't guarantee that I didn't miss something or just not remember. So we're going to put our piece back on here. I worked at it was a temp job. It was a manufacturing facility. They were making these rubber seals for windshields. And the glue that they used was this industrial stuff, and it had different grades, like kind of sticky, super sticky, and then cannot get that stuff at the store. And I should have nabbed me some. Let's see. I'm pulling a little bit. I don't want to pull too much because I just put it on there. Looks like I can. Trying to get it to sit right there can kind of be a little bit difficult, so sometimes it just ends up like this. Did I miss something here? This doesn't feel like it's. So it's using a little bit of this Velcro, but even a little bit is. Oh, there we go. Ew. Oh, that's tight. That might be too tight. So if you don't have this on here right, it might start to hurt your wrist. You just have to play around with it. I am 5'11", so I don't know how long my arms are, but how big my arms are and my wrists. I'm not as strong. My wrists aren't really that thick. The thicker your wrist, maybe the better, because you can handle a little bit more strain on it. But don't do it to the point where you hurt yourself. Okay, guys. I think it's usable now. When this shakes the most is actually when you're using the hand that this is on for the trolley handle, and you're, say, going downstairs or something. Or especially on a bicycle, I would not suggest using this on a bicycle, because having it right there on your wrist is going to flop around a lot, and it's practically unusable. It's like it's better with it attached to the handlebars instead of your hand. Maybe it's just in my head, but all right, guys, good luck.